I'm sure many people, I'm sure many young ladies going into country music consider looking like Dolly Parton because they think that that is an image that people expect of that type, and there aren't many Dolly Partons in the world.
Well, you know, it's just something, like I say, that I enjoy.
Right.
I have my own reasons for doing it, and someday soon...
And the way you say that, I'm not going to ask what they are.
No, someday soon, you know, I guess I really, mainly, I'm a real stubborn person about my beliefs. And I have always wanted to prove that if you have enough talent to do something, you can overcome anything with that. How you look, you don't have to look a certain way, you don't have to be a certain way, you don't have to follow every fad that comes along, you don't have to follow everything that changes in the world. If you still remain the same, people will get to thinking, well, now, why didn't she go along with that when it was, you know, this and that? So then they think, well, you know, there must be something there. So then they stop a minute, and at least they're aware, not that they'd want to do what I do, but at least they're aware of the fact that there is somebody that don't just like to do what everybody else does. I like to do what I do. I enjoy it. I like to share that with anybody that wants to share it with me. You know, not that I wouldn't have anybody looking like me. I think they'd be crazy for somebody to dress like me or to wear this gaudy hair. It wouldn't be right for somebody else, but it wouldn't be right for me not to do it.
Right. Not to belabor your look and style, but just brought to mind a question, a two-parted question. Part one, before you were Dolly Parton, the singer, writer, performer, star, what was your style? And after that, is there a side of you, a style, that you reserve for your private, personal life?
Before I was a star, I started writing songs when I was 5 years old. I started playing guitar when I was 6 and 7. I started on radio and television when I was 10. I had always that great desire to be a star. I didn't even know what a star was. I just knew it was something that shined, and that's what I wanted to do, was to shine. Then when I was 15 years old is when this style came out of the, you know, the big hair and all that. Well, I started that then, and since then it's been the same. And you know, but aside of me at home, I tell you what, it's something I enjoy so much that it's become like a part of my personality. I even expect it of myself. You know, like
when you look in the mirror in the morning, you expect to see Dolly Parton.
Oh, well, naturally, I wash my face, and when I'm around home and all that, you know, I don't really wear as much makeup as people think. I do wear makeup, but I think it's the extreme hair that, you know.
No, you're not terribly made up right now.
I really don't. I'm not ever terribly made up.
You look pretty good to me, though.
No, but I'm just saying, you know, like it's not like,
right.
You know, that's sort of thing where you're just all plastic and all. All paint and powder. But the hair is the most extreme thing. Of course, there are a few other things that people tend to point out, but that's something that's there naturally, which I have been accused of it being different. But anyway, at home, like if I'm writing or if I'm just really being casual, I just comb my own hair. You know, just comb it. Well, brush it. Of course, naturally, I take care of myself. I like to think I'm a clean, healthy person. I wear wigs because they are really handy, and I'm so involved in my work. You know, this is such a convenient gimmick that it makes no sense at all, because I'm not one to be able to sit in a beauty shop for hours or under a hairdryer. I can't stand that stuff. I just cannot. It takes me less time to get ready than I'm sure any woman you know. I can be totally dressed in 20 to 30 minutes with makeup, hair, and all, because it's just a matter of putting on makeup in my clothes. And I, you know, with my own hair, I comb my own hair in the front. You always see me, you know, what you see around my face is my own hair. But like I say, it's just a convenient thing. It's the same as people wearing a scarf or a hat to keep them taking care of things. But I don't have any other look that I would prefer but this, other than just a natural look when it's time to be natural.
Talking about you as the multifaceted artist, it's said, and rightly so, that you're one of the world's leading female songwriters, as well as one of the world's leading songwriters. You're also a performer. Deep inside, which do you enjoy more?
My writing. I don't know why that is. I suppose because it's something that is totally mine, something that is totally me, that I can give. It's like a gift, my gift to the world, if they want to accept it in the faith in which it is given, so to speak. That's what I'll leave behind. I don't ever want to die, and I never will, because I saw a sign once. In fact, somebody, I don't mean die, and we all die, and I have no fear of that, but I just mean I want to leave something to show that I was here. I'm glad that I can, but I have a little plaque that says, "A dreamer lives forever," and I don't know who wrote that, but it was something given to me for my birthday, and I thought that was a terrific saying, because we're all dreamers, especially songwriters, especially creative people. And I really felt like that meant that, you know, if a dreamer lives forever, just what it says. You know, long after I'm gone, I would like to think somebody 100 years from now, and there'll always be a love for music, I'm sure, that maybe somebody might pick up a song of mine or some sort of a book or something I'd written and say, well, you know, look at this. You know, this was 100 years ago, and so said this, and, you know, she did that. But I suppose that it is what I feel that I can truly leave. I don't pride myself on being a great singer or a great performer even, but I would like to think that someday that I will be considered a great writer. I hope that I will be, at least.
Well, I think you already are.
Well, that's
that.
hard for me to know, because
Yes.
a person never knows. It's like I will never, in my own mind, be a star. I mean, you just can't be to yourself. You know yourself too well.
Too well.
Yeah,
yes.
now everybody that's a star, I'm just so fascinated. Like last night I had dinner with Olivia and some other people in the business, and I thought, Lord, I'm sitting at the table with Olivia Newton-John, and she was thinking the same thing about me. And
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, I thought, Lord, you know, how could anybody... I don't know. It's just a really strange thing. But I guess that's one of the great joys of being able to remain childlike enough to, you know, still be excited about things. I'm a very excitable person. I just get so excited about things. But I guess, in a way, that's another reason that I'm real creative. I have so many feelings that run so deep that it's only natural for me to write them down. I can't hold all that inside.
Well,
of me.
your songs are full of feeling and depth and reflect a sincere and simple, like you said, the sincere simple is really sometimes the most complex when you start analyzing it. But they're very pure, real songs, and that's why many people like to record them. How do you feel hearing someone else perform something that you wrote, knowing, like you said, you know yourself, knowing what it's about, where it's coming from, and hearing someone else do it? What does that do to you?
Oh, I tell you, it puts chills on me. There's nothing that gives you a greater feeling than being a writer and hearing somebody else sing your songs, even though they may not know all the story behind the thing. Every singer has his own expression, and he may take it and take it for something totally different than it is, but something that means something to him or her, that they can apply that to something they know and read a whole different meaning into it, but it's still just as effective.
Right.
But it is really a great compliment for anybody to record your song. In fact, last night we were talking about Jolene, which is a song of mine that Olivia recorded.
And many
she
other
had
people.
a #1 record in Japan on the song. I had a #1 record on Jolene in England and here in the States. And I had a Japanese girl record the song, and they send me the records, and to hear your song recorded in a foreign language, or to think that somebody in another part of the world knows who you are and that likes something good enough that you've done, and it gives you the strangest feeling, especially somebody in a foreign language. To, you know, she's singing, how'd she say? I don't remember now how they say Jolene in Japan, but it was really funny. But the music was great, the voicing was great, but I had no earthly idea what she was saying, except when she'd do the word Jolene, Jolene, Jolene. It, you know, it was just reminiscent to something I'd written.
Now, having expressed that feeling, and knowing the way it feels to have someone else do your songs, do you ever take into consideration how the writers of other material that you do will react to your interpretation?
Yeah, in fact, I have a prime example of that. The song Boulder to Birmingham that I recorded of Emmylou Harris, and a friend of hers wrote the song together. And I heard something totally different. I have no idea what she really wrote the song about, or what they wrote the song about. I thought I had a pretty good idea. I wasn't really sure. But there was a situation in my own life that I could relate to what that song was saying. And she didn't sing the song in a sad way, but it was something that I remembered that I could relate most of that song to. And it was a very emotional thing for me to do. As a matter of fact, when I recorded that song, it was so personal, and I was reading so much into it, not knowing what she had in it, but knowing what I only heard and felt, that I got so emotional that I even cried when I was recording that song. Because the melody was so haunting and such an emotional melody to sing. But I could relate, I could read between the lines, even though it's an abstract song, really. There's no way you can know what it meant without knowing the story. So you can apply yourself to what you think it might mean.
Many songs are like that, where there's impressionism in the songs, and just certain sounds, certain combinations of words trigger off the imagination for you to put in the pieces to fill in the gaps.
But I don't know what other people would think of something I would do of theirs. Naturally, nobody's going to be rude enough to tell you if they were disappointed in the way you recorded, or if they would have preferred you done it more what they had in mind.
Most of them are so thrilled that you're doing it in the first place.
Well, I really don't do that many songs outside of my own. Not that.
That's why one would be very honored to have Dolly Parton do one's song.
I don't know about that, but I thank you for that nice compliment.
Do you feel, and I gather the answer is going to be yes, but maybe you can describe it a bit, that talent, unlike, say, rational conscious thinking, but talent, that inspiration that'll hit you, cause you to write a song, is divinely inspired and beyond your own control?
You know, I truly believe that. And like I say, I'm not one to ever discuss religion. I never would argue religion. You know, if somebody wanted to really get into heated discussion, I'd just say I really don't feel I'm qualified. I don't know all I should know to be qualified to preach and all that. But I truly believe there is a divine power. And in my own case, being brought up in the country with no schooling, no reason to really want to do it other than just having a strange drive throughout my life, inner something that didn't really talk to me, but just a feeling that almost just says, well, you write this now, and here's a good idea, you know, that just pops in your mind right in the middle of other things, and it's strange to you. You think, well, now, why would I have thought of that? You know, that had nothing to do with anything. But it's just like mind waves go through the air, and it's just creative people are there for the taking. If you let them float on past, well, it's fine. Somebody else will catch them down the line. But if you're aware enough of what's going on around you, you can reach up and get you one. But it's like I'm an inspired writer. I write totally from inspiration. I don't write unless I feel a great need to. And sometimes I write some freaky things, and I can't even believe that I've written them myself after it's all over. Not that they're that great, but that...
You wonder where they came from.
Yeah, I thought, now, I ain't smart enough to have thought of something like that myself. You know, you just... And you know you... But I think that's just that faith and belief. And even if there wasn't a heaven and not a God, I would still want to believe it. It's like people believing in Santa Claus. You need something to believe in. And I truly believe that there is something much greater than us. Because it would be a boring life to live if we thought there was nothing beyond this. So, anyway, when I'm gone, this will be here. And maybe if I'm real lucky, I'll go somewhere better.
You've given us the opportunity to see the many sides of your personality and the essence of Dolly Parton, bringing it to terms of everyday existence in the music world. I have a feeling that where you're heading right now is to a massive appreciation of your talents, way beyond just the boundaries that we've put around country music. And I think this album is going to bring your music to a lot of people who are in for a very delightful surprise.
Well, I hope so, and I want you to know that as a person to person, I have really enjoyed being with you, and I just hope that the people that are listening to us have enjoyed as much as I have and as much as you've seemed to. So maybe someday we'll get to do it again, and I hope you're right about the album because it is very personal to me, and I just hope everybody likes it.
It's been all of our pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you.